three modes in which surplus wealth can be disposed of.
A pleasant morning to each and everyone. I am Margaret Mata. Join me as we dive into Carnegie's famously identifying three ways of surprise wealth. It may be managed inheritance of for family, bequest for public purpose, and active administration throughout one's lifetime. Before we get into the three modes described by Mr. Andrew, let's first identify the two types of wealth, the monetary and the social wealth. In his essay, Is Inheritance of Wealth Good for Our Society by Rob Mahar, defined monetary wealth as based upon the total net market value of one's individual physical and tangible assets. Examples here are personal possession or assets. It goes without proclaiming that person's monetary wealth is calculated after deducting any debts and other liabilities. Into depth Gosh essay Social Wealth Economic Indicators for a Caring Economy defines social wealth as not only the quality and quantity of a society's social interaction, but also human capacities of the members of a society. Building social wealth includes not only cultivating a culture of caring, trust, collaboration, and generosity, but also acknowledging that such a culture promotes the full development of human potential and as a result of social and economic prosperity. Let's now move on to the three modes in which surprise wealth. First, it can be left to the families of the descendants. As Carnegie's recognized people natural needs to care for their family, assuring their financial security and stability by leaving surplus wealth to descendants. Individuals enable them to pursue education, personal development, and a comfortable lifestyle, fostering their future success. In the Philippines, particularly in the rural regions, grandparents or parents are more likely to pass on their properties to their grandsons because men by nature are adept at labor, where granddaughters or daughters stay in school longer. Typically, men inherited enterprise from their families in order to ensure the generation's fortune. However, it also has negative consequences. Carnegie warned against passing excessive wealth to the descendants, worrying that it would lead to sloth and dependency rather than encouraging individual effort and self-reliance. While caring for a family member is critical, Carnegie's highlighted the significance of establishing virtues such as hard labor, responsibility, and altruism among successors. The second is it can be called for public purpose, but that is only a mean for the disposal of wealth. In the codes, in many cases, the bequests are so used as to become only monument of his folly, and no man is to be extolled for doing what he cannot help doing, nor he to be thanked by the community which he only lives wealth at death. The statements imply that no man who only left money behind only after their death is not something worthy of praise, as Carnegie's believed that individuals who leave lots of money in such a way may be considered persons who wouldn't have given it all if they could keep it. Those we cannot say that they only left it as they have no choice, as rather than using the money during one's lifetime, they just have to wait until death to contribute to the society. And lastly, it can be administered during their lives by its processors. This appears to be discussing plantrophonary and the concentration of wealth in the hands of few persons. With a special emphasis on Carney's perspective, it implies that if surplus wealth is managed for the common good, it can help society more efficiently than it is distributed in small quantities to the individuals. It highlights the ability of wealthy individuals to use their money for public good, benefiting the larger society. He considered it as a wealthy responsibility to contribute to the improvement of the society. Carnegie felt that investing in infrastructure, culture, and scientific research will not only improve individuals' quality of life but also promote societal progress and achievement. Throughout his life, he demonstrated this approach by establishing foundations and providing assistance for a variety of educational and cultural incentives. Let's now proceed to the wealth versus competences. It will be understood that fortunes are here spoken of, not modern sums saved by many years of effort, the return on which are required to the comfortable maintenance and educations of families. This is not wealth but only competences which it should be aimed to all acquired. This quotation, Carnegie's discussed between fortunes and moderate sums saved by many years of effort. He recognized that moderate savings achieved throughout hard work and caution are required for comfortable maintenance and education of families, which he refers to as competences. He believes that is admirable for individuals to strive for competencies in order to provide for their family needs and assure their future. He contrasts this with the concept of wealth, which he describes as large fortune accumulating through commercial ventures or investments. Carnegie's emphasized that while competences is a worthy object for individuals, true riches goes beyond more financial stability and requires accumulating considerate resources in accessing of what is required for basic requirements. Believe that individuals who acquired great fortune have a special obligation to use their resources for the good of society. Listing others who gain competencies should focus on providing for themselves and their families without collecting excessive wealth. Next, we're going to answer the question, how great are the inequalities of wealth in the Philippines today? Wealth inequality in the Philippines is a critical issue with far-reaching implications. Income inequality is high, which means that people do not receive a fair amount of income they generate through hard labor. According to a observation by World Bank, the top 1% of earners together captured 70% of national income, with only 14% being shared by the bottom 15%. The Philippines is dealing with deep inequalities caused by unequal opportunities, limited access to education, gender norms, and geographic imbalances. Despite advancement in basic service, significant disparities implement human capital development and sustaining inequality. The epidemic intensified economic issues resulting in increased poverty, inconsistent recovery, and widening social economic disparities, primary hurting youth and the least educated. Job polarization and erosion of minimum salaries aggravates inequalities. Tax reform burdens the poor, while tax cuts favors the wealthy. Overseas Filipino laborers emphasize the scarcity of local job possibilities. Addressing these concerns necessitates a comprehensive approach that acknowledges systematic limitations to equipped income distribution. Before I conclude, I'd like to leave you with a quote from Andrew Carnegie. Do your duty a little more and the future will take care of itself. This quote implies that by fulfilling your responsibilities and going above and beyond, you will not only secure your present but also pave the way for a better future. It emphasized the values of diligent perseverance and going above and beyond in all you do, trusting that it will result in a favorable outcome in the long run.